Hey, you mentioned Orlando Brown. I actually got a specific question on Twitter that wanted to know, like, hey, we got Orlando Brown. Haven't really heard much about him at all from training camp about how he looks. And I understand from your guys' perspective, there's not a ton to read into with offensive line play during training camp. But what have been your thoughts on seeing Orlando Brown with the team?
Trey Hendrickson's eating his lunch for the most part. I will say that. I mean, Trey Hendrickson's been really good. Now, I will say, while you have some full speed drills in camp, linemen, there's probably some things they can't do from a punch standpoint. I mean, it's your teammate. At the end of the day, there's some things you can do against other guys and will do physically that maybe you don't do your teammate, and it gives the defense a little bit of an advantage and a little bit of an edge. The other part, too, is, and I don't know the answer to this part of it, although we know Joe Burrow's decisiveness. How much of this is you got the two backup quarterbacks back there holding the ball for maybe an extra tick too long, not getting it out as quickly as they should, that Orlando maybe is doing his job initially and making Trey go around. And Trey, by the time he gets under and around, the quarterback's still holding the football where Joe Burrow would have gotten it out. And I think that's hard to assess. So, listen, I know there's a couple of – I've heard it from a couple people too. Boy, it sounds like he's not having a very good camp, and maybe he's not. I think offensive line play is really hard to assess in camp, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I just know what track record is. I know what the back of his baseball card, if you will, says. 4 straight Pro Bowls. And then I got the flip side of, well, Kansas City didn't bring him back for a reason. Yeah, that's monetary. That's not performance related. That's more monetary related. So I'll be worried if I see it in regular season games. I don't think there's any reason to worry right this moment about Orlando Brown.
Yeah, and I don't even think this person saw it from a negative standpoint. I think it was just, hey, there's so much made of him coming here, and then since he's been in camp, you haven't heard a whole lot about how he actually looks. Yeah. So they just wanted an update.
And like I said, I think that's because it's just impossible to assess for us offensive line play in camp. There's no tackling. So was that hold the running back went through? Was that a good hole, and did he get through it? Or was the play whistle dead because it was whistle dead? I mean, you don't know.
Right. And you also don't have officials call, like, because half of offensive line play is, correct, are you getting called for holds and things like that and put yourself in bad down and distance situations. So you don't see a lot of that necessarily either.